Hey everyone, welcome to High School Dropouts Advice. Today we will talk about how to make 50 bucks in passive income. The math behind it's quite simple. If you want to make 50 bucks per day, then let us calculate how much per year this would be. It will be 50 bucks multiplied by 365, which is 18,250 per year. It's definitely a big boost to our regular income. So how much investment do you need to make 18,250 per year in additional income? This really depends on the return of our initial investment. Let's say we are using a saving account with 0.5%, like this one offered by American Express. The math would be 18,250 divided by 0.5%. would be 3,650,000. I know it does not sound appealing at all, and if we have 3.6 million, we would most likely not put it in a savings account. We are lucky that there are more ways to invest than in a savings account, so let us have a quick look at some paying dividend stocks. Dividends are payments from the stocks you own. Usually they are paid out every quarter. The payments are from their profit. Many companies doesn't need their extra cash and decided to pay those out as dividends. So those companies are usually companies which are older and established, like Coca-Cola and the Home Depot. Newer companies like Uber or DoorDash won't pay dividends because they need all the money to grow, or they are not profitable yet. Like Amazon is an example which didn't pay dividends and didn't turn profitable until 2018. It has used all his money to grow to the size we know it as today. Anyways, let us use some example to see how much we need to make 50 bucks a day in passive income. Home Depot is paying out 2.21% in dividends. The math would look like this: 18,250 divided by 2.21%, which is 825,791. I know it still sounds like a lot, but remember, a stock like Home Depot is quite a safe bet over the long run, and the stock price of the stock itself is going up over time. As you can see in this graph here, you would have bought the stock like 10 years ago, you would have made like 7 to 8 times your money, which is a very good return. Let us check some other stocks. Let's have a look at Simon Property Group, which owns many malls around the US. They are paying 6.16 in dividends. In this case, the math would look like this: 18,250 divided by 6.16%, which is 296,266. This looks better, but let us have a closer look how your initial investment would have done. As you can see, the stock was at around $91 10 years ago, and we are at around $84 now. But we have to admit that during these crazy times we are in now, that this is expected. Before all this, it was at around 160. So we would have nearly doubled the money in this 10 years. I think you can see that the dividends can be a double-edged sword, and it can be misleading in some cases. There are better paying dividend stocks out there, but you should not just chase a high dividend stocks if the company itself is not growing in value. You want to see the stock value is going up, like the one at the Home Depot example. Let me tell you that there's a way which pay out more than 6% in dividends. For myself, I use real estate, and I can say that I can get close to 50 to 60% in return per year. So let me explain this to you in a simplified way, how I do this. I buy a rental property for around 120,000 with a 20% down payment. Means I put 24,000 in a property from my own cash, and the rest is a loan which is a lender is giving me. I will rent out the property for around 1,200 to 1,300 after paying all the expenses like mortgage, insurance, property tax, property manager, vacancy allowance and other costs. You should be able to make around 200 to 350 US dollar in positive cash flow per month. In a year, this is around 2,400 to 4,200. Remember that we only put 24,000 in. This is a cash on cash return of at least 10% and can go high as 17.5%. This is a little simplified example because in reality you have to pay around 5,000 in closing costs for the loan and for the property. But the point is you will make an average cash on cash return of 11 to 12%. But this is not the only way a rental property investment is making money for you. Let us dig a little deeper and check out appreciation. But before we dig into appreciation and see how much it makes us, please subscribe to my channel or give me a like. I'm new to YouTube and it will motivate me to share you my investment strategies. Many thanks. Thank you. The last couple years, real estate did quite awesome. Real estate appreciation are very high at the areas I invest in. I invest mainly in Texas. I did some purchases in Houston and Dallas. Let us use one zip code in Houston. As you can see from the information of Zillow that real estate did appreciate nearly 10% the last 365 days for this zip code 77088. So what does it mean? If you bought a property for 120,000 and it appreciates for 10%, it means that your property increased its value by 12,000. Your home now is worth 132,000. You probably still remember that you have invested 24,000. 12,000 in value increase is half of your investment, or in other words, this is 50% in return. You can see that Zillow is predicting that 2021 won't slow down and appreciation is going to go up a little. In my opinion, this is what I would predict too. As long as mortgage rates are going lower, we will have an increase in house prices because people now can afford more house. But the market has to keep the balance, so house prices are rising naturally. You might think this is the end, but sit tight. A rental property also makes you money with loan amortization, which your tenant is paying. The mortgage you took with the lender is getting paid by your tenant. In our example, the loan amount would be 96,000 because the house cost you 120,000 and we paid 24,000, left us with 96,000. The monthly payment would be 458 US dollar, which we pay with the 1,200 to 1,300 in rent we receive from our tenant each month. In this 450 US dollar, 138 bucks is going towards the principal. Each month you will own a little bit more house. It's like a piggy bank which get filled by your tenant. Let us dig a little deeper because there's another benefit you would get from owning real estate, which are tax benefits. You don't get the same tax benefits if you invest in stocks. If you own a real estate rental, you can deduct all your costs related to your rental property. But you also benefit from a depreciation your house would undergo. I know this is a little bit confusing because we talked about appreciation and now your house gets a benefit for depreciating. Let me explain this part for you. Your property will get older over time, and for example the roof or other structure has to be replaced. So because of this, the IRS decided to let you use some depreciation each year to offset the loss in condition of your property. It would be the house value divided by 20.5 years. The math would look like this in our example. 120,000 in house value divided by 27.5 years is 4,363 US dollar. So if your taxable income is 54,363 and your new taxable income would be only 50,000 now. This means you don't need to pay the tax on the 4,363 US dollar, which can range from around 400 to 1,600 in tax. I have to mention that I'm not a CPA and you should consult a CPA for clarification on your case. I did simplify things here so it's easier to understand. So please consult your CPA. The last thing I want to mention is that you can buy real estate under its current value. So you could get a property for 120,000 but it's actually worth 140,000. The reason could be that you are a great negotiator, the seller is in a distressed situation like a divorce, or because the property is a little bit outdated and needs some rehab done or a renovation. Anyways, I think you can see that I'm a huge fan of real estate investment, but don't get me wrong, I also have money in stocks, but my bread and butter are real estate. Anyway, let us get to the final numbers. We have invested 24,000 and 5,000 in closing costs, so the total is 29,000. We make in average 3,300 in positive cash flow. In rent, we make 12,000 in appreciation and 1,656 in loan amortization. Remember, it's 12 times 138 in principal, and then we have around average 600 in tax savings, which could be different for each individual. So this property made us a total of 17,556 with an investment of just 29,000, which is an insane return of 60% in a year. Let me mention that this was pretty much possible this year, and it looks like it will work out for the next year too, until appreciation is getting lower. Historically, appreciation is at around 3 to 4% in average for the whole US nation, but there are always migration happening and areas are booming with 10% and more appreciation, and other places are losing value because of people are leaving the state or city. In my opinion, we will see states in the Midwest and Southwest rises in value, and the coast states will start or slightly lose in value. Anyways, I'm not a financial advisor and I don't have a crystal ball, so don't sue me if I'm wrong. Anyways, our property made us approximately 17,556 in a year, which is close to $50 in passive income. It's $48.09 to be precise. I think that everyone can manage to save up 29,000. When you are saving up, please remember to always invest your savings so it makes you money while you save. It will reduce your time you need to have the amount saved. Anyways, lastly, if you want the money in just cash from the rent, then you need to have 5 to 6 properties. each property is making you in average 3,300 per year. So you need 5.53 properties to make you 18,250 to have a passive income of 50 bucks in cash per day. This would be 160,378 US dollar in total investment, because each house would cost you 29,000 and you need 5.53 houses to realize that. I hope that my examples could help you to see how powerful rental real estate investment can be. I think saving up 29,000 once again is very manageable for the most of us. I really hope that you can save up this amount to get your first rental property. And keep saving and investing, and I can promise you that you can retire within 10 years as a millionaire. Please subscribe to my channel to help the YouTube algorithm and me. And of course, so you don't miss any of my other videos where we talk more about investment, real estate, and a wealthy mindset. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Thank you, bye. In the year, this is around 2,400 to 4,000. In a year, this is around 2,400, because in praxis, it's a little simplified example. Is 48 and is